Greetings, Tubaneros. So, we see Greece is at it again, on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, with a parliament caught between its people, suffering under the highest unemployment and recession in Europe, and the suave financial dictators of the European Central Bank. These unelected, unaccountable tyrants, a Greek word by the way, care nothing for this massive human suffering as they demand their pound of flesh from the very heart of Greek society. The country's major labor unions are out in force, demanding no more austerity measures, no more balancing lofty EU budgets on the life's blood of them and their children. The European Central Bank, however, has just announced it will hold up granting the already promised debt relief unless the Greek Parliament makes the austerity measures binding on all future Greek governments. In other words, it's finally come down to Greece having to sell its sovereignty to survive. This is certainly not what EU members signed on at Maastricht for in 1993, but we shouldn't be surprised. The whole confederal idea was concocted by bankers to minimize public sovereignty at national or any supranational level, to keep the political entities comprising it economically and therefore politically subordinate by a central bank and its currency. There should be a warning to the United States being pummeled by confederal propaganda from the so-called libertarian right. In dismantling federal state power, they too would leave relatively weak states floundering in financial stew at the mercy of unelected dictators on Wall Street. It's not just Greece being forced into bankruptcy, it's all of Europe. But the real bankruptcy lies in the EU itself, in its very conception. Rather than submit to this tyranny, I say the Greek Parliament should tell the slick, buttoned-down, unproductive dictators, starving the working class of Europe in $3,000 suits, their forked tongues spouting bilious bullshit in their pseudo-British accents. Greek people must tell these parasitic shits to go pound saltpeter. But, Azov, think of the ripple effect around the world if Greece defaults and the euro collapses. First of all, I doubt the people of Greece could be any worse off if it did. They have nothing to lose but the chains of debts that aren't theirs. Secondly, U.S. banks are well protected. Only hedge funds are exposed, but fuck them. Greece needs to default, needs to secede from the Union, go back to the drachma. Anyone foolish enough to try and buy a Greek island in this fire sale should be met with fire and blood by angry natives. I want to see NATO troops on the ground just trying to crush Greece back into line. But there is one way out. If the European Union becomes a full federal state structure with a European Parliament that has real central authority and can stand up to the bankers with at least the minimal resistance the United States federal government has shown. This is the only way for Greece and other members to stay with the euro without having to sell their souls to do so. As it is now, to hell with it. Let the euro collapse and the European Union go to hell. Ooh, what can that be now? Hello? Christine Lagarde, head of the International Monetary Fund? So, how was all that chocolate in Davos? You don't need it. Scrawny as you are, you need a little something to give heft to your booty. But at least you're taking your own austerity advice. What's that? Greece needs to prove to its Euro partners that it's serious about adjusting to reality? No, it's time for Greece to adjust to reality. The bankers have strangled it in their blood-dipped claws long enough. Nothing personal, Christine, but you Euro bankers need a good dose of a Lubiyanka enema to flush your shit out of the European system.